Welcome back, everyone. I am so incredibly excited you're here today because we are unpacking a truly fascinating framework in today's explainer. We're going to be looking at the teachings and writings of Life Chenyuan Guide Shufeng, specifically a text from December 2023 titled, All Our Efforts and Dedications Serve to Accumulate Merit for Ourselves. Now, whether you're deeply invested in spiritual philosophy or honestly just someone trying to make sense of human behavior and fairness in everyday life, you're going to find this super interesting. Shufeng presents this highly structured, almost mathematical approach to karma, merit, and how the universe works. We're going to break down exactly how this philosophy operates, step by step, so let's just dive right in.
So, think about this. Does every good deed truly get rewarded? And in a world that often feels incredibly unfair, is the universe actually keeping score? I mean, we've all been there, right? You do the right thing, you give your time, you pour out your energy, and yet, sometimes it feels like you get absolutely nothing in return. Or worse, you actually get taken advantage of. It's such a universal human frustration. We look around and the world just seems deeply unfair. But Shufeng's teachings offer a totally different lens on this. He proposes a framework where the universe isn't just keeping score, it's doing so with absolute, flawless precision. Let's look at how he builds this case.
Part 1. The Fairness of Truth.
Okay, so Shufeng's entire framework is built on this deductive arc, starting with a really foundational premise about truth itself. According to his writings, truth fundamentally has to be fair. If it isn't fair, it literally cannot be called truth. So pursuing truth means pursuing justice. And Shufeng defines justice not as some vague, abstract idea, but as a strict equation. When a person gives, they receive equal rewards. When they commit wrongdoings, they endure meticulous punishment. The absolute key phrase here is no more, no less. The amount you reap has to exactly match the effort you put in, zero bias. It's this concept of cosmic justice, where the input always strictly matches the output.
Part 2. 3 Laws of Balance.
Now you might be thinking, well, that sounds nice in theory, but where's the actual proof? And this is where it gets interesting, because Shufeng doesn't just ask for blind faith. He points directly to the structural, observable laws of the physical universe to back up these spiritual claims. First, he notes that the universe's positive and negative energy sum is exactly zero. Second, he points to the scientific principle of the conservation of energy. You know, the idea that energy can't be created or destroyed, it only transforms. And third, the universal law of cause and effect, or simply, you reap what you sow. By anchoring his philosophy in these principles, he's arguing that the universe itself structuralizes this balance. The mechanism of reward and punishment is basically as sound as physics.
Part 3. The Mirror of Consciousness.
Moving from those macro-level cosmic laws down to our human reality, Shufeng introduces this brilliant framing device to explain how universal truth interacts with us daily. And the fascinating part is, it does this without judging morality the way we normally do. He uses a striking metaphor. Truth is simply a mirror. It upholds fairness without getting tangled up in human ethics of good and evil. It just accurately reflects our current state. If we are a horse, it reflects a horse. If we put a wolf in front of it, it shows a wolf. Truth isn't sitting there judging the wolf for being a wolf. It merely projects whatever consciousness we put right in front of it.
And when you scale that mirror metaphor up to the entire world, things really start to click. Our collective reality is just a reflection of our collective consciousness. If we all love peace, the mirror reflects a peaceful, prosperous world back at us. If we love conflict, we get a world of endless strife and war. Shufeng even applies this directly to the environment. He says if we harm nature, nature retaliates with hurricanes, hail, droughts, floods. The world we're living in is exactly the world our collective consciousness has asked the mirror to reflect.
Which brings us to a really powerful quote from the text. In the universe, no soul is wronged. Everything is a consequence of one's own actions, a web of one's own making. This right here is the absolute anchor of Shufeng's philosophy. In this framework, the entire concept of victimhood is completely replaced by absolute personal responsibility. Every single thing you experience, it's a web you spun yourself.
Part 4. Accumulating Invisible Merit.
So if everything is so perfectly fair, why on earth don't we see it that way? Well, the text explains that the mismatch between our perception and cosmic reality is just due to our limited viewpoint. Shufeng states that mortals lack the Dharma eye or Buddha eye required to actually see karma spanning across past, present, and future lives. Because we're only seeing a tiny sliver of time, our thinking is totally shackled by present reality. We are completely blind to the vast, multi-lifetime karmic history that led to whatever event is happening to us right now.
So how does this actually apply to your everyday life? Think about a time you felt completely wronged or taken advantage of. Shufeng flips this dynamic on its head. On the surface, sure, the narrow-minded person seems to be winning by taking advantage of the broad-minded giver. But in reality, the giver is accumulating invisible merit and the wrongdoer is actively bleeding away their own blessings. It's wild. The victim in this scenario is actually harvesting spiritual merit straight from the person taking advantage of them. The more blessings the wrongdoer loses, the more merit the giver gains. It's a total paradigm shift.
Part 5. The Life Shenyuan Perspective.
Now we see the really specific application of all these rules within Shufeng's own community, the second home of Life Chenyuan. The source notes that for over a decade, Shufeng has rigorously tested these theories by closely monitoring the Chenyuan Celestials, the members of his community. He observes them daily, their online comments, their actions, their words, and even their microscopic emotional changes leave a karmic imprint. By analyzing all this, he deduces how every single action lays down either future blessings or hidden dangers.
And based entirely on that accumulated merit, Zuifeng actually predicts specific, categorized spiritual destinations for his followers. These destinations are tiered, ranging from the absolute highest, the Celestial Islands continent, down through the 10,000-year world, the 1,000-year world, and finally returning to the human world. It is a highly structured spiritual hierarchy, and it's based 100% on exact karmic accounting.
But here is a really critical point to understand. This accounting isn't just about your physical actions. Shufeng stresses that even internal, totally unexpressed negative emotions carry immense karmic weight. We're talking about indifference, anger, rage, hatred. Even if you never act on them, simply generating these emotional states inside a collective guarantees that suffering will manifest for you down the line. The universe is literally tracking your feelings just as closely as your actions.
Zuifeng summarizes this incredibly meticulous tracking with this quote: "Divine punishments, though slow, are always sure, with big meshes, yet letting nothing slip through. It's a potent reminder of the operation of the Tao. The cosmic accounting system might be slow to finish the audit, but it misses absolutely nothing."
So what's the big takeaway from all this? Shufeng leaves his readers with some really comforting practical advice. Basically, don't worry about the people around you. Don't stress over whether others are enjoying blessings while you suffer or if they're just idling while you work your tail off. That is their karmic balance sheet, not yours. Your only job is to just keep giving and dedicating yourself joyfully, trusting that heaven will perfectly match your efforts with the exact corresponding compensation.
Which leaves us with a pretty provocative question to end our explainer today. Based on these teachings from Life Chenyuan Guide Shufeng, if your invisible merit was tracked every single day, every action, every word, and every silent emotion you felt, what would your balance be right now? It's definitely a fascinating lens to view our daily interactions through. Thank you so much for joining me to explore this deeply structured worldview today. Keep learning, keep questioning, and I'll see you next time.